Hello everyone and welcome back to Ponderosa North for the love of Bonanza. Today I'm going to focus on my favorite Haas episodes, and boy howdy, there were plenty to choose from. But these are the ones that I keep going back to. There were so many. I mean, out of 440 episodes, Haas was in most of them, and most of them were good. So I'm just going to go to the ones that I always go back to, the ones I most enjoyed. I'm going to start with the newcomers, where Haas finds his first love, and I think they kind of always go back to Emily as his first love. Look at the waist on her. My goodness, she has like a 13-inch waist. But in the beginning, she finds him absolutely repulsive, but then realizes there's more to the man than the outside. I never thought he was. I thought he was quite handsome, but she didn't, and he ended up being her protector, and she fell in love with him, and he her, and it's just it's a very heart-wrenching, heartbreaking story. She did not survive, but Dan really does a wonderful job in this episode. He gets his heart broken a lot. This one, I think, is the Countess. Look at the intensity on his face when he's dealing with the loves of his life, and how it affects him, and how how he had such terrible luck. But Dan was just a wonderful actor. He had such scope. He could be so funny and so intense, like those pictures I just showed you, and you never ever caught Dan Blocker acting, ever. You never caught any of them acting, but mostly Dan. He was underrated for sure. He had such amazing scope, did Dan Blocker. The next one I really love is The Scapegoat with George Kennedy, Academy Award winner George Kennedy. And Haas, this is great because Haas finally sort of meets his match. He's found somebody that's the same, that's big, and is sort of looked upon as kind of dumb because he's big and the way he looks. And there is a scene in this, in The Scapegoat, of he and George Kennedy doing the do-si-do in the barn. And it is absolutely hilarious. And Joe and Adam catch them dancing together. It's a wonderful, charming scene. I just love it. Here's another scene from The Scapegoat with him and George Kennedy. I love that. I watch it all the time. The next one is Feet of Clay with David Ladd. And this is another heart-wrenching story. But it's one of many where Haas is involved with children and how he deals with children and how he connects with them. And in this case, nobody can seem to get through to this young fella, Billy I think his name is, except for Haas. And he treated children as equals. He never talked down to them. He respected them. And they just trusted him right off. He was just the kindest, most patient person that any child could hope for. But I don't like to give away the entire plots of the episodes because I don't know if everybody's seen them all. But in the end, he has to break the trust. And there's another heart-wrenching scene of that Dan just does a wonderful job in, where David Ladd also is very good in it as well. He's the son of Alan Ladd. I think David Ladd went on to do a lot of productions and behind the scenes directing and things like that. The other episodes I love to watch are Walter's. Walter and the Outlaws. I forget the other one, what it's called. I've got it written down here. Any Friend of Walter's. These are great, and he plays off by this guy really, really well, Honeycutt. And this dog is just, here's Joe with Walter, the most high-strung animal on the Ponderosa. But they are very well written and very well acted episodes, both of them. And again, fantastic, charming scenes. That's why I love them, because there's such scope between, they're so different between Feet of Clay and the scapegoat and Walter. It's just all over the map as far as Dan Blocker's acting abilities go. And of course, we cannot go without mentioning Hoss and the Leprechauns, probably one of the top 5 fan favorites of all time for Bonanza. And again, a wonderful, charming story of circus performers that Hoss thinks are little green men. And just the situations that they get into in the scenes are so wonderful. I just want to show you a few other pictures of Dan with kids. This is from Little Girl Lost. It's just such a juxtaposition between this little tiny person and this huge man, Dan. It's just such a contrast. But it worked. They just loved him. It didn't matter if it was a little girl, a little boy, they loved Hoss, and he loved them back. He just respected them and treated them like, you know, little people, not little kids. I mean, look at this. It's just great. So those are some of my Hoss episodes that I love. Let me know what yours are. I'm sure there's plenty. I do have many more. The Flapjack Eating Contest and Ponderosa Explosion. It goes on and on. But these are the ones I usually go back to and enjoy the most. So we'll see you next time on Ponderosa North for the love of Bonanza.